Hello and welcome to this video here. Today we're going to talk about the work-life and balance and what does that look like. I'm going to share with you the tips of things that I do in order to maintain balance between the two. If you are a working mom like myself, this video particularly speaks to you in a sense. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Shari Laverde. I am a wife, a mother of 3 beautiful children. I'm also a working professional and an aspiring entrepreneur. And how do I get all this done? Yes, I know it sounds crazy, it sounds like a lot, but you can do it. So let's jump right into the tips on the things that I use to maintain this balance in my life. So tip number 1, schedule and structure. Yes, schedule and structure are very important. I am personally a visual person, so I have to see everything written down in order for it to stick with me a little bit more and I don't get distracted with doing other things that are not as important at that time. I work in a job, a 9-to-5 job that requires me to be fully on board at work when I'm at work. But I'm also a mom, so I also know that there's some things that I have to get done. With my children, especially the ones that are in school, you know, if they have a recital, if they have things that are going on that I want to be participant of, I try to schedule things around that. So let me backtrack a little bit. In the field that I work, I am very blessed and I'm very blessed to be in a job where they're flexible enough to understand that outside of work, I am a mom. And what that means is if there's an emergency or things that I have to do, that I'm able to schedule with my supervisor, coworkers, and let them know, you know, at this time I need to step out and that they're okay with that. And that I take on this work that I'm missing at the time at a later time. So that's just a side note. But working back and going back to the schedule and structure, what I mean, I literally work with 2 calendars. I have a work calendar and I have a personal life calendar, and those need to really work hand in hand and together. And I'll tell you what, at work I have deadlines and things that I need to meet. So again, when I'm at work, I have to be fully invested, 100% working, meeting those deadlines. But also too, let's say I have a meeting or a conference or anything that I will require for me to be present because it's important. I need to also look at my personal schedule because again, I have children, and if I have, let's say, an appointment for my son or daughter for physical appointment, you know, that it's coming up, that I'm able to schedule around my work schedule, or vice versa, that in my work schedule, if I have a meeting and a conference that's very important, that I know the dates that those are happening so that I'm not scheduling my children's appointments during those time. Now I know there's exceptions, sometimes there's emergencies and things that you have to get done, and that's separate. I'm just saying, if you're keeping a structure and you're keeping everything scheduled, it's just more manageable to know when you're doing what. That has been working for me. Like I said, these 2 schedules work hand in hand, and I'm very particular as to, you know, the days that take priority over things, and I want to keep those 2 either separate or work around each other's schedule. Now for another tip that I have is keeping boundaries, healthy boundaries. That's what we're going to call it. You have to know when to say no to things. Again, I work a lot, and there's things that sometimes, you know, projects or deadlines that probably I'm not able to quite meet, and I need to be able to take home. If I have that opportunity, I do so, but I stopped doing that. And I'll tell you why. Because then what I was doing is I was structuring my day in a way where I was at work was work, home was being at home with my kids and the children. But there was days that I wasn't meeting deadlines at work, so I was bringing all that stuff home. So then I spent that night working, and that was taken away from the time that I've already had pre-planned to be with my children. So that's when you start blurring the boundaries. That's when you're like, you start, and once you do it once, let me tell you guys, if you do it one time, you're gonna do it again, you're gonna do it 3rd time or 4th time, and then you have like no sets of boundaries. So we need to take a step back, not do that, because you don't want to again blow those boundaries. When you set a structure for your family and you spend time and you do healthy boundaries, this is what's gonna look like. When I get home, I know that it's time for my husband and my children. Yes, I'm a working mom, and I do spend time obviously in the car from work to get home. So I'm coming home, let's say around 6 o'clock. Okay, now my time is limited that I have with my children before they go to bed. So they have a bedtime around 9:30. So I only have those 3 hours and a half to be with my family. But I also, like I said, have a family, so I have to cook and I have to feed him, and that takes time too. So planning ahead, go back to your calendar, in your personal calendar. If you have to put Sunday or Saturday, I'm gonna go grocery shopping for an hour, however it takes you long to go grocery shopping, grocery shopping for the whole week, so that you're not spending days after work going grocery shopping and tapping into that family time that you have after work. Okay, so if you do that, you come straight home, you can cook. While you're cooking, I am spending time with my family, because for example, my daughter, she loves to see me cook. She wants to see what I'm cutting, what vegetables I'm cooking for that day, and she asks for to eat the vegetables, and she wants to mix if we're mixing salad. So she's being a active participant during that time, and that's how we spending time. For dinners too, we sit together as a family, and most of the time we say no phones on the table, and that's because when we're eating, we're spending quality time with each other. We're checking in each other's days and see how everything was going, checking on my son's school. How was his school day? He loves asking mommy and daddy, how was your day at work? And we have these levels of conversations with each other. And then comes our routine for getting the kids to sleep. My daughter's at an age where she loves to mommy and daddy to read books to her. She does have an older son. Again, if you're new, I have 3 children, 12, almost 3, and almost 1. So the 3-year-old loves for us to read books to her. So brother joins in, we all sit in the bed, she drinks her milk before going to bed, and we read books together, and she absolutely loves that. So those are the boundaries that I'm talking about, setting in the schedule. So now we're mixing these tips, right? We're blocking schedule, or we go to work and blocking schedule in the afternoon at nighttime when we're spending time with the family, and what that looks like. And we're keeping healthy boundaries. So I'm trying not to bring work at home, because this time, these 3 hours that I have every night, Monday through Friday, with my children are very important. So I want to maximize the time that I have with them. Now, of course, on the weekends, it's a no-go for work. I definitely want to spend time with the family. But, like I said, if you have grocery shopping, things that you need to buy to get done, that's usually what's happening on Saturday for us. And then Sunday, it's all about just relaxing, being lazy, or if we need to clean, but we're still together in that sense. Now, another tip that I wanted to talk about is self-care and what that looks like for a working mom. When you're a working professional, you have to focus on work. When you're a mom, you have to focus on being a mother. If you're married, you have to focus on being a partner to your husband and being there, and you're wearing so many hats, and we tend to want to do everything, which is great and very fulfilling, but also too, we tend to neglect ourselves as person. And I think that's again where I have a boundary for myself, because I think it's important as a mother or person, just as an individual, that you have time for yourself to do things that will make you feel better or have a happy time for you. Anything that self-care is, anything that will make you as an individual have that alone time. That can look very different to everybody, but for me, example, I like to, let's say, go on a dinner date with a friend and catch up. That's my time for me to go by myself with a friend, be an individual person, a woman, somebody that likes to chat and catch up, and just have that one-on-one time with the girlfriend, who we can just talk about anything. That can be work, that can be anything, and just have that alone time. Also too, if you're like me, I love going to the nail salon. I haven't done so in a while because of this whole pandemic, but moving forward, I hope to return to that routine at some point, even if it's once in a while, to get your nails done and a pedicure. I mean, for me, that's golden. I love that time. And let me tell you something. I used to take my son because I felt like I could do 2 things in one. I'm gonna spend time with my son while I'm at the nail salon and spending time spending time for me and spending time with him. That wasn't really working out, because they get frustrated. They don't want to sit there for an hour and a half. They don't want to do all these just waiting around things, and they start acting up. So now you're just like in this power struggle of like, behave, we're almost done. So you're starting to feel more anxious and frustrated instead of like giving time to yourself. So I stopped doing that. No offense to my son, but we schedule other individual dates, so that's totally different. But when I say me time, I mean I'm gonna go by myself, and I'm gonna spend the hour and a half just relaxing, just getting that pedicure and those manicures done. So that works for me. Again, to reiterate what I talked about, work-life balance, sometimes it seems hard. And sometimes we're wondering how we're gonna get everything done. And we need to prioritize. And if you need to take day by day and put in a schedule what you're gonna do, then that's fine. You don't have to put 10 things you want to do for the day, because most likely they're not gonna get done. So we have to be realistic and prioritize what that means for that day. What's important that day that gets done? Is it the cleaning on a Monday after work that you want to get done? Or can you get done cleaning on Saturday? Maybe during the time that the kids are napping. So you have to step back, look at your life, everyday activities, things that you're doing, and start structuring how you want your days to look like, what gets prioritized, how you're going to incorporate that in a schedule, how to keep healthy boundaries. So when you are scheduled to be with your family, that you're only with your family. That when you're scheduled to just do work at work, that is only work. And also to self-care. Women, ladies, mothers, we do a lot. We have a lot of hats and we carry a lot in our plates, but that doesn't mean we don't have time for ourselves. So if you can incorporate that, I really encourage it, because it is helpful. If you're happier, if you feel better, you're gonna treat your children better. If you're at a state of frustration, that's gonna come out right back at your children. So you wanna be in a state where you're feeling, happy and well taken care of, so you can take care of your family, you can take care of your work, your children, and yourself. I hope these tips were helpful to you. Let me know in the comments what you think. If you have other tips that you think are helpful as well that maybe I can incorporate, I would love to hear that as well. If you found this helpful, please share with your friends, family, anybody that will benefit from this video. If you haven't subscribed, I suggest you do. If you want to follow the work-life mom style, this is pretty much what my channel is going to be about. So I'll be appreciative for your subscriptions, and I'll see you on the next video. Thank you for watching.